you were taught wrong. Maybe you were. I actually feel like I was taught wrong, okay, because I would have got 1 when I was a student. I would have got 1 also. So this was not emphasized to me. So in the order of operations, make sure you remember these 2 are equivalent, these 2 are equivalent. All right, so I like that example because most of the time it makes people go, okay, maybe things are not what I thought they were, okay? And now let's move on to some other problems. Let's bring in some of those parentheses and exponents. Let's do that first one there. In my experience with this, students are either like really good with this, or they're just like, they try and go too fast and they get ahead of themselves. So I suggest when you do these, you take your time and just write it line by line, especially if you want, to get some sort of partial credit on a test. The more detail you show me, the better. That way, if I can see your little mistakes, I can see, oh yeah, this is where they messed up. That's not that big of a deal. All right, let's go. Josh. Where's Josh? You're Josh? Okay, Josh. So PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. I want to know what she did. Josh?
Yep.
What did Aunt Sally do that we're excusing her for?
She did parentheses first.
She did parentheses first?
Yes.
Okay, so you got 8 there, right?
Yep.
Okay, so Josh, I'm going to write 5, take away 3 plus 72, and then I'm going to write 8. So Josh, that looks like 728 now.
I put the 8 in parentheses.
Let's put the 8 in parentheses, okay? Because we need to somehow be able to distinguish that that's not 728, right? So I can put the 8 in parentheses, or I can put a dot between them to represent multiplication. What everyone needs to understand, though, is that this is implied multiplication. This means 72 times 8, right? Okay, Josh, you want to keep going? What would come next?
72 times 8.
You're going to do the 72 times 8, because when we look at this, we don't have anything that's in parentheses that we can do anything with, right? 8 is 8. We don't have any exponents, any powers. We have multiplication. We don't have division, but we have multiplication. So we're going to do 72 times 8. So 5, take away 3 plus 72 times 8. We get on our calculators. What is it? 576. You want to just finish it off?
578. 5 minus 3 is going to be 2.
Okay, so you're going to do the 5 minus 3 because we have addition and subtraction. So we're going to move from left to right. So we go 5 minus 3 is 2 plus 576. And that gives you a final result of 578. The reason why we have an order of operations and the reason why it's so important is that example I gave to start this. If we didn't have an order of operations, then one group of students or one set of people would get an answer of 1 and another group would get 16, right? And engineers, when they're building bridges and planes and things like that, you can't have them using like their own little system, right? Everything would be a disaster. So we all have to agree upon an order of operations. I doubt this, but did anyone see recently on some social media some math problem that is, did you see that? It was something with like things with parentheses. Yeah. So it turns out that Europeans use a slightly different PEMDAS than we do. And we actually do get different answers. Like our way versus the European way, there's slight differences, which is kind of scary. But all right, let's do the next one, or maybe not the next one, let's do another one. Yeah, number 2 actually looks pretty good. And let's see who's up. We only have 10 minutes left. I'm trying to get through everyone. Kayleen? All right, Kayleen?
You do the parentheses first and the exponents.
Okay, so I see several sets of parentheses. So which do I do first then?
So 1 minus 4.
The 1 minus 4, right? Because this parentheses lives inside of this parentheses. So you kind of work your way all the way into the innermost parentheses, and that's where you start. So 1 minus 4, Kayleen, is -3. So here we go. This is going to be 2 plus 2 parentheses 3 minus 6, close parentheses, minus parentheses 1 plus. You said that 1 minus 4 is -3, right? So I'm going to write it like this, -3, and then squared, and then close parentheses squared. So I put this -3 in parentheses. I did it for several reasons. The first reason is because it would be really weird if I wrote this, like plus minus. That would look weird. But that's not the real reason I need it. The real reason I need it is because whatever this is, it has to be squared, right? So what is this? It's -3, so I need to square the whole thing. And that brings me to the next big question, which I'm going to go off on a little tangent here. What is the difference? Is there a difference between these two?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If it's in a parentheses, the negative in it is squared.
Okay.
If it's not, then the negative will stay on the number.
Okay, so what would the answer to this be then?
That's
9. This is 9, because that's -3 times -3. -3 times -3, 2 negatives multiply to be a positive. But this one would be -9. And the reason this one's -9 is because this is really like -1 times 3 squared. That negative in front is like a -1. The squaring is only happening on the 3. And so you square the 3, it becomes a 9, but then you're hitting it with a negative in front. Do y'all see the difference between these two? So when we're here at this step, and we had this thing being squared, that -3 needs to be in parentheses so that when we square it, we're going to get this, right? Sorry, that, 9. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. I'm working inside this parenthesis. I see that I have an exponent. So 2 plus 2, 3 minus 6 minus parenthesis 1 plus what? 9, and then all of that squared. Okay. Is it Deun or Deun? Carrillo?
Oh, that's me. Devin. With a V.
Oh, that's a V. Oh, it looks like a Y.
Oh, my bad.
Right? Doesn't that look like a Y?
It's like a V.
Does that look like a Y or a V?
Really?
Y?
Oh, snap.
Y? Okay. Just making sure. I had to get reading glasses the other day, so I'm making sure I'm okay. All right. So what are we doing, Devin? Devin?
Yes.
Okay. Oh wait, no, hold on. No. All right. I see it now. Your V looks like a U. That's what it is. Your V looks like a U. That is a Y,
So it's not a Y.
right? The V looks like a U, and there is a Y in your
There's
name.
a Y on my name. Yeah, it's D-E-V-Y-N.
Devyn.
Yes, sir.
It looks like Deuyn to me. All right. All right, Devin. What now?
So you still have parentheses. Right?
We have two sets, right? So there's some subtraction we could do here, and there's some addition we could do here. We can actually do them at the same time, right? I mean, you could do this one first and then come on the next line, do this one, but these are kind of equal in the sense that we can kill them off one stone here.
Okay.
So what would this be?
-3.
-3, and should I put it in parentheses?
Yes.
Yes, because there's going to be an implied multiplication right there.
Yes.
And then minus, what does this become?
10.
10. And then should I put that in parentheses?
Yes, because there's an exponent.
Yes, because I'm going to square it. Okay? Let's keep going. What would you like to do next, Devin?
So we can still do then -3.
So we could do this, but this would be multiplication, right? We should probably take care of the exponents first because of PEMDAS, right? Technically we could, but let's just follow the order. 2 plus 2 times -3, and then minus 10 squared is 10 times 10, right? So that's 100. I'm going to just try and get through the names. Macy? Macy. Okay, so Macy, what would you like to do next?
You're gonna multiply -3.
Multiply these two because we have addition, multiplication, and subtraction. So we'll do the multiplication now. 2, what is 2 times -3? -6. So what should I write here, Macy? -6. And then -10. 100, yes, sorry. Heidi? What is all that together here? Go ahead and finish it off for us here. Do 2 minus 6 and then take that and subtract 100. So what would you get there?
4.
Negative, right? -4, and then you're taking away another 100. So if I owe you $4 and I owe someone $100, right? The total that I'm going to owe would be 104. All right. 5 minutes. Let's look at another one here. Let's do 12. And we have Caroline. Am I saying that right? Okay. Number 12, Caroline. What do these bars mean, Caroline?
Absolute.
Absolute value. So the absolute value of a number is just that number positive, right? So if you have -5 in there, inside the bars, it turns into +5. Okay, Caroline, what would you like to do first? Or what?
Add the 1 and the 4 parentheses.
Okay, so you're going to do these parentheses. All right, let's do that. So 2, let's go 4, take away absolute value, -5, parentheses minus 1 plus 4 is 5. Leave it in parentheses, square it, all right? You want to keep going? I'll let you do one more step.
Would the next step be subtracting the 5 from the 4?
Like in here, so go ahead and make that a 5, and then we're going to subtract it from the 4. We'll do that. I'm going to write it out, though. I'm going to go this, 4, take away. This right here becomes 5. And then minus 5 squared. Okay, Lisa?
Me.
You, okay. So what next?
Well, you would do the exponent? Okay.
You can do that. So order of operations would tell us we need to do this first because we do have a parenthesis, right?
Yeah.
Now, in this problem, you could actually do that and it wouldn't hurt anything. But just if we're going to follow the procedure so we don't get ourselves in trouble, we would have 2, and then this becomes what?
-1.
-1 in parentheses, right? Because that's multiplication. And then minus, let's go ahead and do this now, right?
Times 5.
25, right? All right. Tiana, where's Tiana? Tiani. God, y'all are going to mess me up.
Oh,
See, so that's 2 Itzel, right? That I is an E. And Tiani, the I sounds like an E. The English language, okay. So what are we doing here?
I'll multiply the 2 and the -1.
Which gives you -2, and then we still have minus 25. So what is that?
Would be 27,
-27. There we go. All right. So we only have 2 minutes. Let me just make sure Vince and Malena, damn it, y'all. Malena, okay. Vince and Malena, I'm going to call on y'all next class, all right? So for homework, what I'd like for you to do, we have not finished the entire, like all the examples I wanted to do, but I think you can actually try this. So for homework, make sure you do the previous section's homework, right? All those word problems, all the adding and subtracting fractions. But on the next section, order of operations and solving linear equations, we have not done that. So on the homework, just do